All right, hey everybody, welcome back to day 15 of Hey Nostradamus. All right, we're gonna pick right back up and talk about what's going on in Heather's section. Looking outside my window, and I keep doing that, and I know I'm looking outside, and it's cold still. But right outside my window, right in the front of the yard, is this beautiful tree, and it's beginning to turn pink. A couple warm days, and then bling, it'll be pink. When I first looked at this house, when the family came to first look, my wife and I came to first look at this house, thinking about buying it, this tree was in full bloom. It was this beautiful pink tree in front of the yard. And I was like, okay, I'm going to buy this house just for that tree. Now, we like the house and had a lot of good stuff that we wanted, but I really wanted that tree. And so when we bought it and everything, we came back to put the for sale sign in after it closed and everything. And I was like, where's my pink tree? And my wife Jennifer said, Jim, you didn't think it was going to be pink all the time, did you? And I said, no, of course not. Yeah, I did. Where's my pink tree? It stays pink for a couple of days. All the pink leaves fall, the blossoms fall all over the cars, the driveway, and the yard. They're impossible to get up, and it's green the rest of the year. But just for a minute, just a split second, that thing is pink, and I love it. I love it. Okay. All right. So Allison calls Heather and says, hey, Heather, I'm a fake. I'm a psychic. I'm a fake psychic. Don't hang up. But I've been getting this message all day long. This message from somewhere from the great beyond that says, oh, I say, oh, I say, in this Rex Harrison baritone. Does that mean anything to you? Heather's floored. She didn't know what to do. That's the voice that Gerard T. Giraffe, the one they got from Toys R We, used. She and Jason have that character. How does this fake psychic know it? Okay, so she said we're going to meet up tomorrow and explore this further. All right. So it's Sunday afternoon, 3:30. The last section was Saturday night when she was after Reg went home. She said, I'll tell you about what happened, but this other thing, not the whole. I drove to Oregon to meet Paul, Jason's analog. That was crazy. And Sheila's Taibo Club, but this Allison called. Now it's Sunday afternoon. Oh Lord, what am I to do? I arranged to meet her at the fish and chip stand between Ambleside Beach and the soccer field. Jason always liked going there, so I figured it would increase the chance of a Jason vibe. Did I just write the word vibe? I hope that doesn't betoken the start of something bad. I was bleary eyed and freezing, and the twins didn't seem to notice or care. Oh, to be young and have a proper thermostat again. So I waited for this Allison woman. The stand was closed, and we were alone save for a few unambitious seagulls trolling the metal litter drums for snacks. The air was salty and nice, clean smelling. I turned to look at the waves, the little tips of whitecaps, and I turned around, and there was Allison, older than I thought, about 60, and smaller too, her body like a pit inside a large prune of peeled green fleece and zippers. She wore tight black leggings, so maybe she was a walker. Do I care? Yes, I care. This woman was my lifeline. Allison? Heather? I'm glad you could come meet me here, Allison said. How could I miss it? This is the first interesting thing to happen in my life since my husband died. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Don't be. It was horrible for him. When he went, it was a blessing. Is that when you first decided to try your hand at being psychic? At first, I missed him like I'd missed sight or taste or hearing. He was an extra sense for me. I felt like I'd been blinded. I wanted him returned to me any way I could manage. We all walked toward the soccer field. What happened then? First, I went to other so-called psychics. They all checked me out and picked up on the fact that I'd recently lost Glenn, something in my eyes, or maybe the fact that I hadn't bothered to pretty myself up. I know all the signs now. These psychics would mostly milk Glenn's death. I think it was a quick death. No, it was a slow death. He wanted you to be brave and not to worry. None of it was of any consequence, but it made me feel good at a time when other things weren't working. You don't need to be a psychic to know that. But when the message comes from the spirit world, wow, you almost swoon from the illusion of contact. Why did you decide to do it yourself? Don't you think it's sort of mean for pseudo psychics to lead people on? Mean? No. Like I told you last night, it's harmless stuff. And even the worst psychic made me feel a heck of a lot better than all the Wellbutrin or Tia Marie I swallowed. Psychics are no different from quack vitamins or aromatherapy or any of that stuff you see ads for. And I'll tell you this, when people come to me, I really do help them. And you'd be amazed at the problems everybody has. I work as a court stenographer. I think I see more problems than those people. It was becoming windy and our voices were being swept away. Allison said to me, Heather, please don't tell me anything about yourself. Please, if I'm going to be genuinely psychic here, I don't want the results to be influenced. Just then the kids found a dead crow and shouted, Aunt Heather! And I looked at Allison and said, well, now you know at least that much. I suggested we go talk someplace warm. We went to the cafe adjacent to the ball pit at Park Royal Mall, where the twins romped among filthy colored plastic balls with green loads reminiscent of the Black Plague. Or, one more time, where the twins romped among filthy colored plastic balls with germ loads reminiscent of the Black Plague. Wow, look at this. This is video number 3 today. I did a 30-minute Raising the Sun video. I did a 60-minute Hamlet video, and now I'm on this Hey Nostradamus video for you guys. Sorry. No excuses, just sorry about that. It's funny, these ball pits are full of germs, right? We all let our kids play in them. Will that be different now? I mean, what's going to be normal now? After everyone's worried about the germs here and the contagion here, what's going to be different? What will normal? What will our new normal look like? Will we go back to the way we were before? Everything just, I don't know. I don't know. I think we're in for a long haul as far as getting through this. I don't mean coming out of quarantine, but a long haul getting through the whole thing. Sorry. I suggested we go talk someplace warm. We went to the cafe adjacent to the ball pit at Park Royal Mall. Let's see if I can get it right this time. Where the twins romped among filthy colored plastic balls with germ loads reminiscent of the Black Plague. Allison said, I'll be frank with you. I don't know if you're married or single or divorced or lesbian or anything else. And I'll say it again. I don't know where I got these voices or why. She paused. I tried to conceal my hunger for more contact from Jason. Allison, did you get any more messages last night or this morning? Allison said, I did. One. What was it? She sighed. I can tell you if you like, but I have no idea what it means. What is it? What did you hear? She screwed up her head as if she was about to sing an aria, but instead she spoke in a high, cartoonish voice. Hey, I'm in dreamland and I got the best table here. She repeated the phrase and then relaxed her head. That's what I heard. Hey, I'm in dreamland and I got the best table here was a running gag of Fraggles, which we use at night before going to sleep. Hearing the words made me high and low at the same time, like a cough syrup high. My face felt like it was morphing into some other face, and my emotions were trying to escape through my bones. Allison asked me, shall I say it for you again? No, I fairly yelled. I asked Allison to watch the kids for me, and I ran out of the small cafe area beside the pit and headed to the bathroom, where I sat for 10 minutes and cried. It's a credit to the human race that several women knocked gently on the door and asked if there was anything they could do. But there wasn't. I sat on the toilet and finally realized that Jason is probably dead. To keep thinking otherwise is simply delusional. The effort I've been putting in, being the rock, keeping it together for the sake of Barb, the kids, Reg, and Jason's mom. Nobody else has to go back to an apartment where there's a man's wallet with credit cards collecting dust on the counter by the banana bowl, or a bar of orange English soap that's begun to crack beside the bathroom window. I've been trying to keep Jason's aura alive, but every night after work I walk into the apartment and it's leaked away just that much more. His clothes don't look like they're ever going to be worn again, but I can't give them away. So I keep his stuff there. I dust his shoes so they don't look dead. I keep his wallet beside the fruit bowl because it looks casual. So when he returns, he can say, ha, there's my wallet. Just listen to me. I'm crazy. I wasn't going to let this happen to me. I wasn't. I was going to be cool, but that's not an option anymore. Finally, Allison knocked on the stall door. She said she was sorry, but she had to leave. I asked her not to, but she said she didn't have a choice. I told the girl at the ball pit entryway to keep the kids there until you return. Thanks. I am not a stupid woman. I am aware that there is a world out there that functions without regard to me. There are wars and budgets and bombings and vast dimensions of wealth and greed and ambition and corruption. And yet I don't feel a part of that world, and I wouldn't know how to join it if I tried. I live in a condo in a remote suburb of a remote city. It rains a lot here. I need groceries and I go to the shopping center. Sometimes they'll be rebuilding a road and putting those bright blue plastic pipes down in holes. There'll be various grades of gravel and conical piles. And I almost short circuit when I think of all the systems that are in place to keep our world moving. Where does all the gravel come from? Where do they make blue plastic pipes? Who dug the holes? How did it reach the point where everyone agreed to be doing this? Airports almost make me speechless. What with all these people in little jumpsuits eagerly bopping about doing some highly qualified task. I don't know how the world works, only that it seems to do so. And I leave it at that. Barb gets home. Oh, Sunday night, 7 o'clock. Barb gets home in a few minutes. From now on, I'll have to write this using my Soviet coal-powered Windows system. I also phoned Reg and asked him to come for a late dinner at my place tonight. I feel like I need family. My immediate family's all over the country, so Jason's family will do in a pinch. I'd like to be able to call Jason's mother at the extended care facility, but when she's on, she's great, but when she's off, which is nearly all the time now, I might as well be talking to a tree with its branches flapping in the storm. No friends to visit. They're either married and moved away or single and moved away. I could phone them, but they're spooked by Jason's vanishing. They feel sorry for me. They don't know how to discuss it. And when they phone, I'm wondering if they get a poor Heather thrill at the fact he's still missing. Any news? Nope. None? Nope. Oh, so, what are you up to lately? You know, work. Oh, well, see you one of these days. Bye. I've gone through my memory with a lice comb, and I still can't find any evidence that Jason was connected to ugliness or violence that might in some way have led to his disappearance. I've seen killers galore in the courtroom, and despite all those, he was just a quiet man, a perfect neighbor thing you hear on TV, the fact is that killers have a deadness in their eyes. Their souls are gone, or they've been replaced with something else, like in a body snatcher movie. I was always happy to be invisible in a courtroom when a murder trial was happening, but it was always the killers who tried hardest to make eye contact with me. During a month-long trial, I typically look in their direction just one time, and there they were, meeting my glance head on. So no, Jason was no killer. I knew his eyes. He had a fine soul. Did Jason have a secret life before me? No, nothing scary. He was a contractor's assistant. He picked up drywall, he cut tiles, and he did wiring. His friends weren't truly friends, but glorified barflies. The more they wanted to know about the massacre, the less Jason spoke with him. I'm sure they must have been spooked by this, but nobody was ever surprised. His boss, Les, was a good time Charlie, whose wife Kim monitored him like the CIA. We had a few barbecues and company picnics together. Les is about as dangerous as a squeak toy. I tried asking Jason to open up about his past. This was surprisingly hard to do. I know that most guys aren't talkative about themselves, but Jason, good God, it was like pulling teeth out of Mount Rushmore, getting him to tell me what he did before he got hired by Les. He'd been working in a kitchen cupboard door factory, it turned out. Jason, my two cousins work for Canfor's wood panel division. What's the big deal? Nothing. I pushed and prodded and pleaded, and finally it turned out he was ashamed because he'd only taken a factory job so that he wouldn't have to speak with people during work. There's nothing wrong with that, Jason. I went for almost 4 years without having a real conversation with any other human being. It's true. I'm not the only one. Those guys you see driving in trucks and wearing hard hats and all of that, they're doing the exact same thing that I was doing. They want to get to the grave without ever having to discuss anything more complex than the hockey pool. Jason, that's cynical and simply not true. Is it? Was it? Getting Jason to discuss Reg was easy. All I had to do was say that Jason's mom saw Reg in the magazine shop on Lonsdale. Instantly. That sanctimonious bastard sold me to his god for 3 beans. That mean, sour freak, he should rot. Jason, he can't be all that bad. Bad? He's the opposite of everything he claims to be. Is he? No. At least he's not anymore. Right? Reg has changed. The loss of Kent, the loss of Jason, his girlfriend dumping him, and how she did it. He's not the same Reg that made those nasty comments to Jason in the hospital or at the memorial or back when Jason saved so many lives at the shooting. Sunday night, 11 o'clock. The sky was orange before the dark, and I was in the vestibule organizing all of Jason's rubber work boots when Reg showed up. Pathetically, I was hoping the boots' odor might remind me of Jason. Reg's knock was startling, and when I answered the door, Reg looked at my face, and I could see he knew I'd finally given up hope. In the kitchen, he put on a pot of water for tea and took Jason's wallet from beside the fruit bowl. He removed the contents item by item, laying them out on the countertop. So there he is. Laid out were Jason's driver's license, his North Van library card, his Save on Foods discount card, and some photos of Barb, the kids, and me. Reg said, Heather, something happened today. Tell me what it was. He took the water off the stove before it screamed. He didn't want any extra drama. I remember reading somewhere that devoutly religious people despise psychics, magic 8 balls, fortune telling, fortune cookies, and anything of that ilk, considering them all calling cards of the devil. So I was pretty sure that when I told him about Allison, he'd blow up or go into his lecture mode. But he didn't, and yet it was unmistakable that he disapproved. He asked, Tell me more about the words, oh, I say. It was this character Jason and I had between us. And he was a giraffe named Gerard. Why did he say, oh, I say? Yeah, baby. Is this for your thing? Okay, go ahead. Is this your Earth Day song you've written? You gonna share it with my seniors? Okay, debut hearing, people. No one's heard this before. She had to write a song about Earth Day. Okay. Okay.
Hi, my name is Mary, and I'd like to say something about Earth Day. Pick up the trash you see on the streets, even if it is spoiled meat. Ow, 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 ow! If you recycle your cans and cardboard, the trash man will come afterwards. Ow, ow,
Oh, that's
ow,
good.
ow! If you plant flowers in the garden, global
Warming.
warming isn't something to bargain. Oh, 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 oh. Earth Day is a beautiful day. Be nice to each other. Mic drop. Wait, can you
All right. Excellent. You gotta go to that first commando now.
Renegade, 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 renegade. Ding, ding, ding. Woo! Ha! Hey! Hi guys! I'm signing out to all TikTok players, and you can see us. And on TikTok, you can type out Darren and Jason. We did do the wait, renegade, 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 ding, ding, ding. Woo! Wait, who's
Okay,
this?
I got it. No, I gotta go now. Come on. Great job. Love you.
I
Go.
hope you like my song, Senior.
They
Yeah,
do.
me too.
I'm sure they do. Leave the chips. Why do they say, oh, I say, thanks for indulging me with my kiddos. I love them. And that's what crisis school is like. It family shows up in the middle of your videos. All right. Why did he say, oh, I say? Because he needed to have a cheesy tagline every time he appeared on our stage, so to speak. It felt uncomfortable, if not obscene, discussing the characters of an outsider. Especially with Reg, who was a child, probably spent his Sunday scanning the dot patterns in the weekend funnies with a magnifying glass in search of hidden messages from the devil. I told Reg about Froggles too. Reg, my point is that these were characters shared solely between Jason and me. Nobody on the planet could possibly have known about them. Reg was silent. This drove me nuts. Reg, say something at least. He poured the tea. I guess what's strange for me here is to learn that Jason had an inner world that included all these characters and all the things they said. Well, he did. And then he spoke with them all the time. He didn't speak with them, he was them, or rather, they were us. We both have our own personalities, but when we went into character mode, we became something altogether different. You could give me $1,000 and I couldn't think up a single line for them to say. Jason too. But me and Jason together, there'd be no stopping us. Do you have any wine? White or red? White. I took the bottle out of the fridge and poured it for him. He said, ah, God bless vitamin W. I thought the psychic aspect of these events upset him for religious reasons. Psychics? Lord, no, they're all quacks. I don't believe God speaks to humans through them. So if a psychic's sending you messages, either the psychic's faking it or something ungodly is coming through. Yeah, well, look, Heather, I know you're upset that I don't believe in your psychic. She gave me evidence, Reg. He raised his hands as if to say, nothing I can do about it. Meanwhile, I had to make dinner. I had no idea what was in the fridge to eat. Fat-free yogurt, limp celery. I got up to inspect. I had this thought. Reg, is this all supposed to make us better people? I mean, is that why we're going through this, so that our souls can somehow improve? I found a plastic tub of frozen spaghetti sauce. Maybe. I was so mad that I slammed the sauce under the counter and the lid popped off. Will you just tell me why it is that the only way we ever seem to take steps forward in life is through pain? Huh? Why is exposure to pain always supposed to make us better people? Heather, it's grotesque to think that for even Heather, it's grotesque to think for even a moment that suffering in and of itself makes you a better person. I'm listening. Heather, I'm having one of my good days today. I'm not feeling as full of doubt as last time. Doubt comes and goes, and my thinking today is that it's equally grotesque to think that a lack of bad events in your life means you're a good person. Life is only so long. The whistle gets blown, and when it does, where you are is where you are. If people live to be 500, they're probably about long enough for everybody to have experienced most of what there is and to have done all the bad stuff too. We check out roughly at 72. So, so if we assume that God is just, and I think he is, even after everything that's happened, then justice can still be done. Maybe not here on earth or in our lifetimes, but for justice to happen, then there has to be something beyond this world. Life on this plane is simply too short for justice. Huh. Some people even give the impression that they have escaped all the bad stuff, but I don't think anybody does. Not really. You don't? No. I used to be a really nice person, Reg. I can't say that about myself. But now something's changed. I'm not a nice person anymore. It happened to me today in the mall's bathroom when I was crying. I stopped being nice. Reg said, No, no, that's not true. In any event, I was heating the spaghetti sauce and I dropped the subject of psychics, evil, Froggles, and Jason. I spoke about those things that float on the surface, things without roots, current events, TV, and movies. The moment Reg left, I pounced on the phone and called Allison, but she didn't pick up, and there was no machine. I tried again an hour later. Nothing. I would have called her every 3 minutes, but then I realized how uncool it would look if Allison came in, looked at her call screening display, and saw that I'd phoned her 78 times. So instead, I phoned her 3 more times and just now took a sedative my doctor to give me back when Jason first disappeared, which I've so far refused to take. I'm going to bed. What, baby? Jason, what? What do you mean? I'm fine with you doing Epic. Okay. Okay. Then you have to do something else right now. Monday night, 7 o'clock. Work today was hard and I screwed up several times. I passed on lunch with Jane from the court next door and I bought a tuna salad sandwich and some chocolate milk. It sat beside me untouched on the courtyard steps while I began phoning Allison's number once again. How many times had it been at that point? 10, but I couldn't help it. Her number was a combination to a safe and I desperately wanted in. By the end of lunch hour, I felt sick. Well, more freaked out than sick. I clocked out and drove home as if home would afford me any comfort. I phoned Allison twice again and then decided at the last minute to visit Jason's mother at the extended care facility off Lonsdale. She was awake and for an instant seemed to recognize me, but quickly forgot me again. She kept asking for Joyce, Jason's old dog, but I told her about 10 times that because I was allergic to her, Joyce was living with Chris down in Silicon Valley. Then she asked how Jason was. I said he was fine, and then from the innocent expression on her face, I time traveled just a few months in the past to a world where Jason was still here. I felt relief that we decided not to tell her the news. Tuesday morning, 5:30. Allison won't answer her phone, and I'm ready for murder. For the love of God, how many times do I have to dial her? I threw all caution to the wind and put her number on auto redial for the entire evening. Then I went and bought a copy of every local newspaper and checked out all the psychics looking for her. I went through the yellow pages on the internet and still nothing. She must have some sort of business alias. I called all the psychics I could, asking who Allison might be, but nobody knew. Some of them tried reeling me in by fishing for what Allison might have been onto. Scum. But all leads went dead. The nerve of this woman. The nerve! She knows darn well what it's like to endure what I've endured. And she doesn't return my call? I can't sleep. Instead, I just think about her more and more, and then I think about Jason somewhere out there in the afterworld trying to reach me. And instead, all he connects with is Allison, her teal-colored fleece, peeled fleece at that, who tells me right out of the gate that she's in the business of being a liar. I walk around the condo talking aloud, telling Jason he could come directly to me instead of wasting his time trying to go through this uncommunicative Allison bitch. I then felt uncharitable and petty. I thought that maybe if I drank a couple of gallons of water, it'd degunk anything in my veins or muscles that might be blocking Jason from reaching me directly. Then I figured I was maybe too clear, so I drank a shot of tequila. It did say a bad word. Oh God, I think I'm looped right now. You can go on the couch if you want. But it was only one tequila shot, and my period was a week ago, so I don't know why I'm so wound up. It's going to be light soon. It'll be a clear, cool day like summer, but the sun's too low on the horizon. Seasons have always had a strong effect on me. For example, everyone has a question that assaults them the moment they're awake in the morning. Usually it's, where am I? Or sometimes, what day is it? I always wake up asking, what season is it? Not even the day, but the season. A billion years of evolution summed up in one simple question, all based on the planet's wobble. Oh, but I wish it were spring. And oh, if only I could smell some laurels in the path outside the building. But then on the other hand, if I'm honest, I have to remember that it takes bodies longer to decompose in fall and winter. Oh, Jason, I'm so sorry, honey. I'm sorry. I just thought of you like you were merely biomass, like potting soil or manure or mulch. That's obviously not true. I don't know what happened to you, but you're still just Jason. You haven't turned into something else yet. And Allison, you evil, cheesy witch, you won't pick up the phone. How dare you? I'm going to find you. Yes, I'm going to find you. All right, that looks like a good place to stop. I do believe that was day 15 today, so we'll say day 15 ends right. It's 25 minutes. We'll stop there. Day 15 is there today. Come here, Jason. Let's say goodbye to everybody. All right, folks. Oh, he's getting big and heavy. We'll see you tomorrow for another video of Hey Nostradamus. Jason, any words of wisdom you want to say, buddy?
No, but hi, seniors.
Woo, hi, seniors. Woo, woo. Okay, on the count of three, I'm going to throw them. You guys catch them. Okay? 1, 2. They really got to catch them. 3. Ah! Oh, okay. Goodbye, everybody. Love you. See you next time.
Bye.
Hit the red button.
Wait.
We have to go, Jason.